Hello everyone, how are you all? Today we are going to discuss another topography, or you can say landform features, and that is wind or aeolian landform features. According to pre-2024, we can say that this is another one of the most important topics in geomorphology. Now the question comes that the wind or aeolian topography, where they will be formed. So simply, as we know that the agents of erosion or transportation, simply the river or wind or glacier, they are going to do either erosion or deposition on the places where their speed will be more. Like we saw in the last class that when the speed of the river will be more, it will do erosion, and when the speed will decrease, it will start doing deposition. Like this only, wind is going to erode or deposit when its speed will be more, and the places where its speed will be there are the deserts, means the less vegetative cover area. Now I gave you the term desert. Now if we say the desert, so prima facie the picture which comes in our mind is the sea of sand is considered as desert, but practically only the sea of sand is not the desert, but rather deserts are of 5 types, and the most important thing, they are also known as arid areas. Now the question comes, arid and semi-arid, what does they mean? Means the precipitation will be less and the evaporation will be more, means deficit of water. And firstly we are going to discuss about the types of deserts which UPSC also used to ask, and then after we will move on to the features which are formed. So in types of desert, the first type of desert is the Hamada or rocky desert. Simply we can say this type of deserts are found in Libya, Hamada el Homra, and as you can see in the image that the rocky desert means widespread, the you can say barren land will be there, and the most important thing, the features will be rocks rather than sand. Now if we discuss about them, what they are called, this consists of large stretches of bare rocks swept clear of the sand and dust by the wind. Now the question comes, the dust and the you can say sand are swept away. So how? So let me show you that. Technically the formation of soil, if we talk, then the soil is formed by 3 components, you can say sand, silt and clay, and the binding element of these 3 is the water, means the water is going to bind them and hold it. But when the water will evaporates, and before that I am telling you, when these 3 will be present in the perfect manner, means 33%, then they will form a soil type which is considered as loamy soil. This means the perfect quality of soil. When the amount of sand will increase, it will be considered as sandy soil, silt will increase, silty soil, clay will increase, it will be considered as clay soil. So here we are not to discuss the type of soil, but rather we are going to discuss the deserts. So as we saw, the sand or the silt or the clay are swept away, means when the evaporation will be more and the water present in the soil will evaporate, means the binding element will get absent, automatically all these 3 will lose their binding. The finest matter is the clay, then after the silt, and the coarse one is the sand. So in the absence of water, firstly when the wind will blow, first thing, in the water scarcity, first the vegetation will disappear because due to less scarcity of water. Now the vegetation will disappear, which acts as a holding factor for the soil, so the soil will become loose, and in simple wind the clay will blow. Then after, when the speed will increase, silt will be blown out, and finally in high speed the sand also. So that's why it has been written that all the matter, simply you can say the sand and the dust are swept away. These are known as rocky deserts, and simply they are present in the Saharan part. And as I told you, Hamada El Homra in Libya are the best example of rocky or sandy desert, you can say. Now moving on to Hamada or rocky desert, we are moving to Reg or stony desert. Reg or stony desert are found in Egypt part, and here instead of big rocks, the small pebbles will be present, and this type of deserts are easily accessible and the big herds of camel are kept. So let's see what they say. They composed of extensive sheets of angular pebbles and gravels which the winds are not able to blow off, means the bigger particles, and such deserts are more accessible than the sandy deserts. And in Libya and Egypt, they are considered as Serir, and the simply African stony deserts are considered as Reg. So that's why they are considered as Reg or stony desert, and they looks like this. Then after moving on to the next, Erg or sandy desert. Simply we can say the sea of sand, means according to layman what the desert means. And this type of desert, mainly the sand dunes are found, and they are found in, you can say, Libya and these are type, and in Turkestan they are considered as Kum, like Kara Kum. Now moving on to the next, that is badland topography. Actually, badlands are not desert characteristics or types of desert, but due to absence of vegetative cover and less precipitation and more erosion or evaporation, they are considered, or they are put under the category of deserts. And the badland topography, as you can see, they are extensively found in South Dakota district of USA, and the most important thing is that the Grand Canyon part, means Colombia. And in India, if we talk about the badland topography, the ravines of Chambal. Moving on to the next type of desert, that is the mountainous desert, means found over the mountains. And simply, as you can see, in Sahara desert, the Aghar mountain and the Tibesti mountain are the good example. Along with this, in South America, the mountainous desert example is the Atacama desert, which is considered as the highest desert in world due to located on Andes, and the driest desert also. So in this way, deserts are classified in 5 categories. Again, recalling them, first one is the rocky desert, then after the stony desert, then after the sandy desert, then after badland topography, and finally the mountainous desert. So we saw the deserts type. Now, due to less vegetation or no vegetation, the wind will move with high speed. Now when the wind will move, either they are going to blow out the sediments, and the sediments which will be blow out, either they are going to hit the surface or they will collide with each other. So the process of wind by which the erosion take place is 3 types, and those are deflation, abrasion and attrition. Deflation means blowing out. Abrasion means sand blasting, means when the particles will get a surface and they will just blast, like simply in summer season when wind used to blow, we feel the particles which are coming over our surface, that is abrasion. And attrition means the particles are colliding with each other when they are moving from one place to another, that is considered as attrition. Let's see their definition. Lifting and blowing away of the loose material from the ground is considered as deflation. Sandblasting of the rock surface by the winds, and when the particles roll against one another in the process of collision, then that will be considered as attrition. And in this process the erosion takes place. Now when the erosion will take place, the features which will be formed, the first one will be considered as mushroom rock or rock pedestal. Earlier it was asked by UPSC in previous year. Now the question comes, how the mushroom rocks are going to form. So let me show you. Simply a freestanding rock will be there and the top part will be of hard rock and the lower one will be of soft. Now when the wind will move, it is going to do the attrition process or abrasion process, and in this manner the rock, the freestanding rock in the desert will resemble like a mushroom, or simply it is considered as rock pedestal. Here when the sandblasting effects of the wind take place against the projecting rock masses, grooves and hollows are cut into rock masses and they looks like pillars called the rock pedestals like this, and these are also known as mushroom rocks. So you will find them. Now moving on to the next, that is Zhusen. In Zhusen what happens? The tabular form of rock will be there, horizontal in manner, as you can see in the picture. Here the lower strata will be of soft rock and the upper strata will be of hard rock. Now again the wind will move and it is going to cut down, erode down the lower one, because soft one will be eroded very easily in comparison to the top one. So it will resemble like a horizontal tabular structure, then it will be considered as Zhusen. On the other hand, apart from the horizontal manner, some rocks are present vertically in nature, means the vertical table land masses, and those will be considered as mesa. But before that we are moving on to the Yardang. Now the arrangements, there what we saw in Zhusen, a single independent rock is present, but in Yardang there will be a series of hard rocks or series of rocks present, and in between there are soft rocks. Now the what in wind have did, it has eroded down the soft one and the hard one has been left behind longitudinally, or you can say in a straight manner with the passage, and these alignments are considered as Yardang. These are steep sided, deeply undercut, overhanging rock ridges separated from one another by a long corridor or a passage, then will be considered as Yardangs. And then after mesa. Mesa is a Spanish word which means table. So as you can see, these are the tabular masses found in the deserts, means the flat surface, and these are, you can say, more extensively found in the deserts of North America. When they will be found in group, they will be considered as mesa, but when they will be isolated, then considered as butte. The continued denudation through the ages may reduce mesa in the area and they become isolated flat top hills considered as butte. Mind it, again telling you, when they will be found in groups, tabular land masses with steep slope, they will be considered as mesa. But with the passage of time, when they will become isolated in manner, then they will be considered as butte. They are mesa only, but isolated in manner, means left very less, so butte. Then after Inselberg. Inselberg is nothing but it's a German word which means the island mountain. Now see, island mountain, if the particular island mountain, the residual mountain will be found in peneplain area, it will be considered as monadnocks. When it will be found in desert, Inselberg, and when this island mountain will be found in the glacial fields, then they will be considered as Nunatak. We will see them also in the glacial landform features. But here what I want to figure you, that always remember the isolated mountains or the small ridges with round top hills are considered as Inselberg, German word, associated with residual hills rising abruptly from the level ground, which are characterized by their very steep slope and rather the rounded top. So they will be considered as Inselberg. Then after the Ventifex or Drachensters. Technically these are a small pebble size particles, or you can say stones, having the conical edges, and their size resembles, or you can say is up to the size of Brazilian nuts. Then they will be considered as Ventifex or Drachensters. Then after the deflation hollows. Normally these are found in the erg or sandy desert, means the sea of sand. The wind will blow and it will blow out the sand. A depression will be formed which will be considered as deflation hollow, as you can see. And the well-known deflation hollow is the Fayum depression in Egypt, which is nearly about 130 feet below the sea level. Means the depth of the depression is 130 feet. You can imagine that how much depth they are having. Now after the deflation hollows, the dunes, depositional features. Till here we saw the erosional features. Now the sediments which has been eroded down or they has been blown out, they are going to be deposited somewhere. In this process, the first feature is the dune, means the round top sand hills are considered as dunes, and dunes are of many types. Like if I say you, the first dune is considered as the barkhans. Now in barkhans, if we say, barkhans are nothing but like this shape will be considered as barkhans, means their horn will come out. Then after barkhans, the longitudinal sand dunes are there which are considered as sefs, means sef is an Arabic word which means sword, and these longitudinal dunes are technically the ridge of sand, you can say, which are hundreds of meters in height and kilometers in length. As we can see, they can be 100 kilometers long and near about 200 feet in height. So they will be considered as longitudinal dunes or sefs. Then after comes the transverse dunes, and the deposition of transverse dunes are on the periphery of the desert in this manner. Then they will be considered as transverse dune. Then after the parabolic dunes which are formed in the opposite direction of the wind, then they will be considered as parabolic dunes. After the dunes, the next feature which is formed by the deposition is considered as loess. Now the question comes, what is loess? Earlier only what we saw, the finest particles will be blown out, means the clay. Loess are found on the end of the desert, or you can say outside the desert, from where the desert starts. The wind, the clay which is being blown out by the wind will be deposited in the end of the desert or outside the desert, which are considered as the most fertile matter of the soil, and due to their very less particle size, they will get compact with time and they will form like this. If we say what are they? They are the very fertile yellowish matter, and the China has got the lowest plateau. They look like this, and dust from the Gobi desert is called the Hwangtu, the yellow earth, and in Germany, France and Belgium they are considered as limon, and in North America they are considered as adobe. Means in different regions they have got different names also. Yellow earth in China or Gobi desert, Germany, France and Belgium, limon, and North America, adobe. So loess are the another deposition feature. Then after comes the palaya. Palaya are nothing but these are the temporary lakes found in the desert or the depression. With the passage of time, they used to appear and disappear, and these are only considered as Palaya. Mainly found in, you can say, USA and Mexico, and in USA and Mexico they are considered as salinas or salars, means the lakes of sand. So in this way, the landforms made by wind or the Aeolian landform features comes to an end. And remember, only a few difference in the definition can change the whole structure. So always mind that, or you can say that always read the question very carefully and the sentences, that what they are asking in the question, because more or less the definition is same. Only one word change can change the whole structure. So read the questions carefully. We are going to meet in the next class with the next landform feature, that is glacials. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.